Are you an entrepreneur and you're not using video? Well, guess what? It's time. Hey guys, good morning. It's me. Just wanted to give you another quick update. Look at this. It's official. Where is it? Articles of Incorporation. Spark Your Heart Show, LLC, in full effect. Last year I was in a leadership class that essentially changed my life. It gave me the spirit, the hope, the confidence to go ahead and take a chance. You know, I know the stats for home-based businesses and small businesses they're scary. You know, they say 90% of them fail. In the first 2 years, you're going to be underwater, you're going to be in debt. But you know what? It's all worth it because you get to do what you want on your schedule. You get to work with the people that you choose. You get to basically pick and choose your clients. I've been blessed. I'm really, really lucky. And of course, I worked hard, and I can't wait to share more of that work with you. Just want to give a shout out to Scott and Preston and Charles and Sunshine. You know who you are. Lisa, Greg, Blair, Natalia, Ebby, Jennifer. I could go on and on and on. And you guys get all my alerts on Facebook, so I appreciate that. But always remember, find what sparks your heart, find your logo, and find your reason. There's Kennedy. She's my reason. So keep going. Keep going, and look forward to more promotional videos, promotional emails. They're going to be out there, and get involved. I'm happily booked for next month and the month after. So if you have a small business and you're looking to do some promotion, you're looking to do some video, get a hold of me. You know what to do. I can do animated videos for you. We can sit in the backyard, shoot an interview. We can use the studio. There are so many opportunities. Get out there and do it. Welcome. It's Ronnie Reyes here at the Spark Your Heart Show. In studio today, my good buddy, Greg Swizzy.
What's up, Ronnie Reyes?
What's happening, dog?
Hey, another Friday.
I have been waiting for you to sit in that chair, my man.
I'm here.
Yeah. Just a quick introduction. Greg is a graduate of UNLV. He is a graduate of Choice Center University. He was once my personal development coach.
That's right.
Very dear friend of mine. He is most proud of being an entrepreneur, and his immediate goals are launching on a big level the myvegasapartments.com.
That's right.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah.
Excited.
So just to get things going, I had a lot of comments here on the phone through Facebook. People are asking me about accountability.
Perfect.
There's two schools of thought. Some people think you don't need an accountability buddy. I personally think you do. What are your thoughts on accountability?
So I think accountability is important. You know, it's all about doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And for the longest time, I've had an accountability buddy, and we can thank South Park for that. But really, I think it's important to have someone, if you have that ability, whether it's a friend, a mentor, a coach. But especially when you jump into the entrepreneurial space, there's so many things that you want to do, so much that you want to accomplish, that having someone that you can bounce ideas off of and share your goals with, and then they can kind of hold you accountable, make sure that you get there. Because as an entrepreneur, you get pulled in so many different directions with your business that sometimes it's tough to stay on point. So having that person in your life, in your space, is very valuable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then I don't know what your formal definition of accountability is. That's different for different people.
what I'm trying to ask is, some people say, I don't need an accountability buddy. And if I pay a coach, if I pay a buddy, how is that true accountability? So I guess what I'm asking is, what are your thoughts on having a paid coach and, your wife be your accountability buddy?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think the first step is really just to have someone in your life that can hold you accountable. And for everyone, that's going to look different. The benefits of having a paid coach or a paid mentor or something like that,
right.
Is that person is really vested, or they're going to be vested in your success. For the longest time, I had one of my best friends who was my accountability buddy, and we just kind of, we had weekly meetings, and, I helped her with her business, she helped me with mine, and it just was a very good relationship as far as being able to support each other. Not everyone has that kind of person in their life. So if you have the ability and you have the resources to be able to find a coach that you work well with, having that paid resource, they're going to invest in you. They're going to support you, and they're going to give you more time and effort.
I think there's a sincere difference between a buddy or a wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, because sometimes they turn into a yes man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's difficult. It was difficult for me to make the leap to paid coaching or paid mentor, whatever you want to call it. Again, how would you introduce somebody who's brand new to the coaching field, or to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To say it's okay to pay this guy to coach you or to mentor you because he's the real deal. You touched on it a little bit, but if you can expand.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you can have multiple people to hold you accountable, I think that's a great way to go.
Yeah.
Having your brother, in my case, my brother is a big person that I go to for accountability, and, I don't have to pay him. But I think everyone should have a mentor or a coach in some aspect.
Right.
And really, even if you look at the world's biggest coaches, they still have coaches.
Right.
The biggest professionals have coaches, athletes and movie stars, they all have coaches. And 99% of them are paid coaches.
Right.
Because they know that those people are going to help hold them accountable. In regards to where to go for that coaching, there's plenty of different places, but if you know any person who's been in business for a while, that would be my first, and has been successful, that would be my first step, is saying, hey, who did you use as your coach? Who's your mentor? Who do you go to help hold you accountable and to help you grow when you need it most? Help push you when you need it most.
Yeah. And going even one step further, when talking about accountability, does that mean being super rigid to an ideal, whether it's a business plan or we're planning a wedding, me and Angela?
Sure.
How can you be flexible and yet still be accountable? Flexibility, I guess, is the key question there.
Well, I think the first thing is really looking at what your long-term goal is, and then kind of breaking it down into smaller wins. What does that look like? So, you guys are getting married this year, right? Yeah. And so, okay, by that date, you need to have your wedding planned. Yeah. Well, what can you do in smaller steps? And then you can celebrate those smaller wins, because then you build up momentum. Hey, I've got the invites out.
Right.
Hey, we've got the registration taken care of. We've got, the guest list done, and Aunt Joe doesn't have to sit next to Uncle Ed.
Right. And some people, because I have to admit, this is not my first marriage, but on my first marriage, I was the bridezilla. I was attached to how things should look and feel, and this music should play at this time. So I was having a really hard time being flexible. This time around, it's good. So I think accountability people shouldn't be afraid to be accountable.
No, I think it's great. And you had asked about being negotiable, like, can you be flexible at all? And I think absolutely. I think as long as, if you're holding me accountable and I say I want to get something done by today and I'm not on track, then as my coach or as my accountability buddy, I can say, hey, Ronnie, I didn't quite get to where I wanted to go. I'm going to move that deadline.
Right.
Just giving you a heads up. And I think as long as you can admit to where you're at, whether you're on track or off track, and relay that information, I think communication is the biggest thing. So, because at that point you can then hold me accountable and say, okay, well, what didn't work? Why aren't you where you want it to be? It's not right or wrong. It's just, let's just figure out why that didn't happen so that this next deadline, you can make it happen by that date. Got it.
And then let's kind of transition here. I'm going to hold you accountable right now in regards to your business, brother. What's going on with myvegasapartments.com? What's the big idea for myvegasupartments.com.
Awesome.
And I think you know my next question, but I'm going to hang on to it.
We'll go one at a time.
Yeah,
We'll go one
yeah.
at a time. So My Vegas Apartments is a subsidiary of My City Apartments. And My City Apartments I launched in Arizona back 3 years ago now. And what My City Apartments is, it's a local online apartment directory for the Phoenix metropolitan area. And we also service the Tucson area as well. And in addition to that, we're also a full service marketing and events company. And so what that means is we can handle anything from social media marketing to business card print and design to website design. You name it, we can do it.
Right.
But we service the local apartment communities.
And you're bringing that here to Vegas.
Bringing it here to Vegas within
Got
by February 20th, or today's the 21st, 22nd.
Yeah.
By February 22nd, we'll be launched here in Vegas at myvegasupartments.com. Basically, we're bringing that entire concept here.
Fantastic.
I mean,
fantastic. Now, here's my next question. I asked you this at brunch.
Sure.
How do you compete with forrent.com, apartments.com? These are huge national companies.
Exactly.
So what's your differentiation? What's going to say I'm going to go check out myvegasupartments.com?
Sure. So really, our goal is kind of twofold. One, we want to be that kind of one-stop resource for the apartment communities. And some of those larger national brands, their services, having been around for a long time, are kind of specific, and really we can get real customized with the opportunities that we have for the apartment communities here. And so really being able to be a full-on marketing person and company for them.
Right.
And in addition, on the consumer side, we really want to be local. I mean, that's really our thing, is what's local to you? What matters to you?
Right.
You can find an apartment community, but do you know that it's by UNLV?
Right.
What's important to you? And it's really being localized with the apartment communities with the consumer in mind.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
we are going to cut this a little bit short. We're going into part 2 of our show that always focuses on the turning point. We'll be back with Mr. Greg Swizzy. We out. Welcome back to the Spark Your Heart Show. In studio, my brother, my friend, Greg Swizzy.
What's up, Ronnie?
What's happening, dog? Today we are talking about the turning point in your business. We always talk about the turning point. There has to be an emotional moment in your life, Greg, where you decided to go from, a regular clock-in employee
Right.
to an entrepreneur. It's a huge step. A lot of people, they don't take it. What made you take it?
So I launched my business, as I mentioned, about 3 years ago, and kind of did it part-time and just building and building. But really, as business grew and I realized that there was a demand for what we were offering in Arizona with My City Apartments, I just realized that I had to do it. Like, this is something that for me, I've dreamt of owning my own business, and I really want to be able to provide service to people in need. And
Right.
by being able to do that, I just said I couldn't do it part-time anymore, and it was it was a very scary step, because you just don't know how it's going to end up. But, I went from that full-time employee doing this on the side to, all in, let's do it, let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's a huge step, and you actually inspired me to do that.
Thank you.
Back during my leadership program, I was in the same boat.
Right.
But I have a lot of buddies again online through Facebook. They're scared to death to take that leap to leave a regular 9-to-5 job.
Right.
I don't want to call it a secret, but what I did, I saved. That was a key piece for me. I saved a bunch of money,
Right.
put it away, and then I could take that leap into entrepreneurship and launch the Spark Your Heart show. Do you feel that, especially in our current economic situation, is it crazy to be an entrepreneur, or it's inevitable that clock-in jobs are there? It looks like they're going to go away. I mean, all there's left is little part-time jobs out there.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll ever go away. I mean, there's big companies that run this country, that run this world, that are going to need the day-to-day employees.
Right.
But definitely entrepreneurship is spiking. And, it's not crazy to think that you can have your own business by any means. You just got to find what you love. And when you find what you love and you find your passion, it's not work anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
And so then it's it's a lot less scary to make that jump when you found what it is that you love to do. So, there's lots of things out there. You can go to any website almost and find out ways to start your business while you're working full time.
Right.
But when it comes time, take the leap. And, worst case scenario, you can always go back, right?
I love that statement. Yeah.
Serious.
I don't know if you, of course, you remember Coach James. He said the same thing to me. So just to kind of wrap it up here, for me, my piece was saving.
Right. Your
piece is finding love in what you do. And maybe that third piece might be you can always go back.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? They say with no risk, I forget what the saying is, but, I don't know. There's no risk without reward.
Right.
Or there's no reward without risk, something like that.
You got to go for it.
Just jump, but go both feet in.
So what are the three things that entrepreneurs need in this day and age? I mean, other than their business cards and a website and blah, 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 and besides the heart, the love, and besides maybe a little bit of savings, what else do you need? I mean, let's get practical.
Well, I think the biggest thing is customer service. I mean, for any business, that's huge. And that really is going to be one of the things that makes or breaks you. In any business, I don't care what industry you are. If you don't have the customer service, that business isn't going to come back.
Now, get specific. What do you mean by customer service?
So for me, in my business, in my businesses, it's all about relationships, and it's all about building them. And you don't necessarily need to know their kids' names and the kids' birthdays, but you should have that one-on-one interaction with them, know them by name, being able to call them, and giving them direct access to you. I mean, that just shows a huge trust. I mean, as the owner of the company, the fact that my clients can reach out to me directly if they have a question, a request, or if they have a complaint even, they can contact me directly. And I think that bodes so much credibility in the space that I'm in anyway. Yeah. So I would say relationships is definitely number one. The ability to network, number two.
Huge.
I mean,
That's
how are you going
huge.
to build the relationships if you can't network?
Right.
So you got to put yourself out there and get to know the people in your industry. And three, integrity. And it almost comes back to accountability almost. It's like doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it.
Yeah, and there's a format for that, like you were saying, buy when. Mm-hmm. You should trademark that. I think that's great. Those of you who know Coach Greg, you know what I'm talking about, buy when.
Buy when.
But so buy when, have a little heart in it, get to know your customers, your clients, and really get to know them. I do think it's okay to know the kids, to know their birthdays.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a huge piece. And to me, that goes to the next piece. To do all this, to provide service at that level, it's okay to charge a little bit more.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you and I were discussing, there's companies out there or individuals even that provide similar services.
Right.
There's 100 people in a couple mile radius that build websites, and what's going to set you apart? Your pricing may be twice as much as somebody else, but based on the service that you offer, based on the relationship that you have, you've got to be able to build value in what you offer. So offering the lowest price isn't always the best.
Right.
You can offer a higher price, but because of their experience, because of the relationship, and because of what you bring to the table as an individual or as a business owner or as a company even, people are going to continue with you, even though they're paying a little bit more.
Right. Never be afraid. And I think that's hard for beginning entrepreneurs. They want the business,
right?
So they'll kind of compete on price. But I think, especially the people you and I deal with, these are high quality people. They deserve this level of service, and it's okay.
Absolutely.
To ask for more money because you're going to get great service. You're going to get personal relationships.
Absolutely, and it's all about knowing your value.
Yeah.
You got to have value in yourself and what you offer as a person and as a business owner. And as a product or service, whatever that may be for you. And if you have value in there, you're going to be able to share that passion and that love. And so when people hear that, they're going to be willing to invest in you, whatever that dollar amount looks like.
Right.
So never sell yourself short at all.
And then going back just to the title of this segment, the turning point.
Sure.
Is it, for me, it was a low moment. Emotionally, I was like, what else can I do? I hated my job at the casinos.
Right.
I can only make so much money. Does the turning point always have to be kind of at a low, or?
Absolutely not. I mean, for me, I was working full time, the first couple of years that I launched this business, that I had this up and running. And for me, I was making good money. I had great relationships with my clients and the companies that I worked for. For me, it was really just saying, okay, I know that I can grow this and I can make it bigger. So I was in a great space. but I just wasn't able to grow the company the way that I know I can, putting part-time attention to it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, okay, I really want to do this. I can't make this, I can't have this be a hobby anymore.
Yeah.
It's, and that's a tough distinction, between a hobby and making it a full-time actual career.
Right.
But for me, that's what it was, hey, there's so much more that I know that's possible. And that's why I'm here in Vegas, expanding into Vegas, because I was able to put full-time effort into it, and I know what's possible. I've seen it in Arizona. Now I know that I can bring that to the Las Vegas market as well.
Right. And I wish you the best of luck, and all of
Thanks,
our
brother.
friends online and my Facebook groups. We're behind you 100%.
I appreciate that.
Just to wrap up this little segment here, we're talking about the turning point. What's the emotional moment in your life when you're going to get off your hiney and just do it? Take the leap, become an entrepreneur, or get that second degree. Go out there, go do it. Welcome back in the studio. Coach Greg Swizz. My name is Ronnie Reyes with the Spark Your Heart Show. We're here. The last segment of our show is called my favorite. It's called Doing It.
There you go. Who doesn't love that part,
Who
right?
doesn't love doing it, brother? What are you doing right now, today, or as soon as you get out of the
Sure.
studio here to promote your business?
So, great question. My Vegas apartments, right now I'm going door to door to apartment communities. There's a lot of people in the sales world that are afraid of doing it. But that's, again, going back to relationships, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Get out there, pound pavement.
You get to do it.
You get to do it, right? You get to do it. I get to do
Yeah.
it today. I get to.
Yeah. And it's not uncommon for a guy like you. You're a go-getter.
Yeah,
You like to
absolutely.
stay heavily involved in the community, at school. You're also running multiple businesses. What's your second business? What else is going on?
Sure. So outside of the apartment industry, my business partner Ryan and I, we actually bought a bounce house business.
What? Like party supply stuff? What's going on?
Inflatable bounce houses.
Love it.
I mean, one of the things that him and I both have a passion for is pure joy. And kids. And there's nothing better than showing up to a birthday party or a park and blowing up a bounce house, and you see the biggest smile on the kid's face,
Yeah.
ear to ear, because they get to bounce all day.
Yeah.
So
That's good. So that's a separate entity, right?
it's a complete separate entity.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of all intertwined, and actually got the idea from the apartment industry when I had apartment communities looking to rent bounce houses for a grand
Okay.
opening
Got
or
it.
anniversary, and
Got it.
So Ryan and I bought LV Bounce Party.
Now, did you guys start this from scratch, or you?
No, it's an existing business. We I had the idea. Ryan had the idea a couple years ago. We finally just talked about it and decided to do it. We found a business that was selling.
Right.
They were just done with the business, so we bought an existing business.
Right. Now, was there a lot of tweaking you had to do to their model of? Is it party rentals? Is that what you call it, or?
No, so as of right now, that's kind of long term. So we're talking big picture. We'll do a lot more of that. Right now, it's pretty much just bounce houses, tables and chairs, and a few concession machines. Snow cone, popcorn, something like that. So, really, it's just about bringing the fun to any occasion.
Well, that's huge, like you said. And that's the essence of our show is your heart, and dealing with kids. I don't want to say it's diametrically opposed to the apartment community business, but I think I can kind of see it. You might have to fill in the picture for me of how could you attach those two businesses and offer a huge package?
Sure. So, I mean, doing resident events for apartment communities, we can offer all types of services. So if you want to DJ, if you want to host a happy hour or casino night at your community, well, we can also bring the outdoor activities. Do you want a face painter? Do you want bounce houses? Do you want, you name it, we can do it. We can bring it to you. And so that's really the only way that I see them kind of, being mixed together as of right now. But having tables and chairs, we can bring that to a community too if they need extra tables and chairs. But sometimes it's not a bad thing to have separate businesses, that don't intertwine too much. You can completely have a one direction, bounce houses and kids, right? Which is awesome.
Explain that to me, because I'm a beginning entrepreneur.
Sure.
I kind of put all my eggs in one basket. But how would one branch out and not get overwhelmed by all? It's a lot of responsibility being an entrepreneur. Well, and then you got 2 businesses going. Come on.
I can't say you won't ever get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, being a business owner in general, even if it's one business, you're going to get overwhelmed. But, really, I think it kind of alleviates some of the stress sometimes. You have so much going on with one business. Well, you can take a time out, if you will, and shift complete gears. And, if things with the apartment industry are going crazy and I've got so many events going on, or, talking to clients and setting up appointments, well, I can take a break and I can say, hey, I'm going to go deliver these bounce houses to, Johnny's 5-year-old son,
right.
And just hang out and let them jump all day.
That's
and it just it's kind of a stress relief, just being able to get me back to my roots, as a guy, I can go back to being a kid and saying, hey, hey, I just want to, jump all day.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
you stay in your body and stay present.
Exactly.
I like that. Well, we got to get Ryan in here.
Definitely. Yeah. He's got some exciting things going on. I mean, speaking of entrepreneurs, he's got that, but he's got some other projects that he's working on too. So, again, completely non-related to the bounce house business,
right.
but, it just goes to show that you can follow your passion and you can have multiple passions as well and make it all work together. You get to have it all.
I love that statement. I love that statement.
I wish I could coin them all, but I'm not responsible for any of them.
Oh man, that's a good one. Because that's kind of a mind blower. A lot of people they're so focused, they get locked into their job or their own business, they forget
absolutely
to have fun, to get some physical exercise. That's so important. And the message of you get to have it all.
Exactly.
I'd like to coin that one too. That's a good one.
Yeah, seriously.
I love it. Is there any special shout outs you want to give to anybody out there in internet land? Anybody you want to thank or?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it's been a long journey for me personally. My brother Mike, I thank you, bud. It's been a whirlwind of a few years, but you've definitely helped guide me in the right direction. Heather, my assistant in Arizona, I really wouldn't be able to do what I do while I'm launching Vegas without her. My best friend Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Really, a lot of this so much kind of stems back to your friendship, and so I really appreciate you for that. And Ryan for taking a risk with me, with a brand new business partner. And then I've got so many people I could go on for days, but you guys know who you are. I appreciate all of your support, my family. Obviously, Ronnie, thank you. I appreciate your support for having me here. And
it's an honor to have you in the chair. Yeah, man, it's good stuff. You've always been a great, huge inspiration to me.
Thank you.
Spark Your Heart was almost founded with you.
It's all Greg, you, man. I can't take credit for that.
Well, Greg and I we had a very unique relationship in Choice Center University. And he was my personal development coach, and I'm here to support him today in his business. But more important than that, I get to support him as a brother in arms.
Thanks, man.
Being an entrepreneur, it's tough.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, Like Greg said, we can go on talking forever and ever about entrepreneurship. You guys should come out to breakfast with us one time.
Let's do it. Let's have a round table.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
I'm open to that.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, make sure you put in the comments below that you're ready. You're ready to do it, to get off your hiney, get into action, find your passion, find what sparks your heart. We love you.
What's next for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. I'm getting married in March. That's huge.
That's next, I guess.
That's a good
March
one.
Will be here soon.
Yes.
I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. But this is not an invitation to everyone out there. The list got a little crazy.
I'm sure.
A little off topic there. Just want to wrap it up. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, man.
Brother.
Definitely.
Love you.